Hi guys, today's video is super exciting because I have the new collection here from Ace Beaute, and I am sure that some of you, a lot of you, have probably watched videos on these already. I'll be honest, I'm done with trying to play the rat race of being the first one to have a video up with every collection. Like, I can't do it. Just like for my own well-being, as long as I get a video up before the launch, I'm okay with that. I don't need to be the first one, and I hope you guys are okay with that. I know most of you understand, but I just wanted to put it out there because I always see people posting their videos like on the dot when the brand reveals the collections, they already have their videos done, and I'm like, okay, good for you, but like, I can't. But I'm here. I'm here to be like the 5th person to show you this collection. I hope you're okay with that. But you've all probably seen them, but Ace Beaute is coming out with 4 new sort of mini palettes, and when I got these in the mail, I knew that they were coming out with something new. I didn't know exactly what it was. They hadn't shown it when they sent me the email if I wanted to receive it in PR. I was like, sure, that'd be great. I can't wait to see what it is. I got the package and I saw these and I was like, that's interesting. It's not what I was expecting at all. I really like the packaging at first. The packaging is absolutely stunning on all of these. They all have like a kind of window in them with what looks to be real flowers inside. Like it's actually like 3D flowers. They are stunning. Like, I've never seen packaging like this before, and I feel like they really did something with these. And like I said, I was blown away by the packaging, and when I went to open them, I actually my sister-in-law was here, and I was like, hey, do you want to see these together for the first time? And she was like, of course, I would love that. She's really into makeup too. She loves eyeshadows. So we opened the first one and we were both like, oh. It just was not what we were expecting at all, especially with the pans. So these pans are very similar to, I'm sure other people have said this too, but these are what I feel like the Urban Decay Smiley palettes should have been. Like, this would have been the perfect palette for them. Like, they tried, but they failed. This is what these should have been. I think they're absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and do a video with these. I'm gonna show you one look with each palette just to do it simpler and easier for me, and for me to be able to get a video up faster. I'm gonna talk through the looks. I'm not gonna do a look on camera. I have done a look with each of the palettes. I will show you all of them and talk through them as we go because it'll just be a little bit easier for me to edit that way. So I'm gonna show you the palettes. I'm gonna show you some swatches. Like I said, there are 4 palettes in this collection, and these are launching on the 4th, which is a Monday at 12 p.m. CST. You can use my code Annette to save 10%. It is affiliated, just so you know. I will leave all of my information down below in my description box if you are interested in any of this. I don't know exactly when my video is going live. I want to say probably Sunday night. So it's going to be up before the collection launches, but you're not going to have like a ton of time, I guess, if you want to watch the video. But I'm going to make sure to have this video up before it launches. So I think that this is a very, very well done collection. I think that all of the color stories just make sense. And what I look for in an eyeshadow palette is a user-friendly palette with a color story where the mattes and the shimmers make sense together. And I feel like they did such a good job with these. I feel like there is a really good range in both the shimmers and the mattes, tone-wise and depth-wise. And even though a lot of these are like very monochromatic palettes, I feel like they still just did such a good job with these. And I have had a blast working with all of these palettes, and I'm so excited to show you the looks that I've done with these. So let's just start off with the look that I did with the Flora palette. I probably mispronounced that. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. But since this is quite a like purple monochromatic palette, there's only so much you can do with this, so I did a purple monochromatic look because that's what this palette can do. I used a couple of the mattes in my crease, I used a couple of the shimmers on my lid, and I love the way that this turned out. Is it kind of boring? Is it kind of predictable? Sure, but I think that everything performed so well. I had no issues at all building and blending on the purples. The shimmers, I feel like the shimmers in these palettes are a little bit different than the shimmers that they've had in the past. It could just be because the pans are smaller and they kind of act a little bit different and they don't pick up the same as they do in a larger pan, but I feel like the shimmers in these are a little bit sheerer. They remind me a little bit of the Unearthly, God, what is the name of that palette? Vitality palette, is that what it is? If you guys have that one, these shimmers remind me a little bit of the shimmers in that palette. They're a little bit on the sheer side. They're not like that super creamy putty formula, but they are kind of creamy at the same time, and you have to sort of dig your brush in there a little bit to be able to pick up product. And since the pans are kind of small, it's not that easy to pick up a lot of product on your brush. You have to really like wiggle the brush in there to be able to pick it up. Not an issue at all for me. I usually use glitter primer, and I tend to use a sticky brush to pick up the shadows with. Works like a charm. If you don't want to do that, just be prepared to have to like kind of dig your brush in a little bit. But once you get these on the eyes, they are so pretty. They're so shiny, they're so like metallic, but with that little sheerness to them, which I personally love. And I also just felt like the wear time on these were magnificent. Like they wore so well on me. I had no creasing with any of these palettes. I've worn all 3 of these except for my look today for a full day. And by that I mean like 12 hours, no issues at all. They wore absolutely beautifully. So I have had the best time with all of these. The next 2 looks that I'm going to show you are going to be kind of on the neutral side. The next look I did was with the Kala palette, which is the like neutral palette in the collection. But again, I just feel like the color stories in these are so well done that even though they are monochromatic, there's like enough looks that you can do that you're not going to get bored right away. And that is my issue a lot of the time with monochromatic palettes, is I feel like there's one look you can do and that's it. And then you've kind of like discovered everything that the palette has to offer. But I feel like since there is a good range of depth in the mattes in these palettes, you can kind of play around with that and come up with different looks that don't always end up looking exactly the same. So I did a pretty basic neutral look for this look because, again, it's a neutral palette, right? Like, what am I supposed to do? But I did want to spice it up a little bit, and I did pull in the Woodside and Lauren Made Beauty collab, and I used the Chartreuse shade in my inner corner, and I love that shade for that purpose. It is the perfect Chartreuse inner corner shade, and I feel like it's going to be a shade that I'm going to be wanting to use a lot, especially in the summer, because it's just going to go with so many sort of summery and just fun and colorful looks. So I'm obsessed with this look, honestly. Like, I have no shame. I kind of like neutral looks these days, especially if there's like something fun added to them. And I felt like this gave me exactly what I wanted. It gave me a neutral look with a pop of color, and I think it turned out really, really well. I mean, again, everything performed like a dream. I had no issues at all working with any of the shadows. And the same goes for the Flora palette, which honestly, this is probably going to come as a surprise to everybody, but I think the Flora palette is actually my favorite out of this whole collection. There is something about just the warmth and the yumminess of this palette that really makes me gravitate towards it and really makes me want to use it. And I love these colors on myself. I don't know what it is, but there is something about like the yellows and the browns together with like the red tones. I don't know. I just really, really love it. And I think the look that came out of this was so beautiful as well. Again, is it a little bit predictable? Probably. Are other people going to do the exact same look that I did? Probably. But again, it's a monochromatic palette, and if you want to try out a lot of the shades, this is just the best way to do it. So I just wanted to make sure that I tried out a lot of colors in all of these palettes so I can give you a good review, and I could feel like I really got to know the formula even though I only did one look with each palette. I hope that makes sense, but I really love the look that I did with this one as well. As for the look that I am wearing today, it is of course with the Begonia palette, and I wanted to do something a little bit different for today's look, and I wanted to do something a little bit graphic, and I really like how it turned out. Like, it's very different to anything that I feel like I've ever done. It's sort of a graphic halo eye in a way, but also more like that big wing kind of look that I do sometimes. But I really like it. I think the color combination really works, and yeah, I had a really good time creating this look. So I'll show you how I did it. I did one of my kind of wing shapes on the outer corner, and then I did like the green on the inner portion. So I started with the green, actually. I don't know why. I could have started with the outer corner too. It didn't really matter, but I just wanted to get the shape down before I went in and kind of filled in both sides of my lid with the corresponding mattes. So I wanted this to be darker on the inner and outer corner of my eye, and then have 2 of the lighter shimmers in the middle. And I feel like it really works. Like, I don't know. I don't usually do dark on the inner and outer and then light in the middle. I don't know. There's something about halo eyes that sometimes I feel like they just look weird on me, but I feel like in a graphic shape, they work a little bit better. So maybe it's something I need to explore a little bit more, but I really, really like how this turned out. The only thing that I will say is I feel like some of the mattes in this palette are a little bit they're not sheer, they're very buildable, very, very buildable, but I feel like upon first application, I didn't get as much pigment, especially with the green, as maybe I was expecting. But I felt like with the dark purpley reddish shade, what is that even called? Is it a maroon? Not really sure, but that shade, I felt like I was able to get more pigment right off the bat, but again, no issues at all getting them to do what I wanted them to do. The shimmers are beautiful. Same formula of the shimmers across the board in all of these palettes, if you are interested. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I can see maybe some people struggling a little bit with these, especially if you're someone who likes using the finger to apply shimmers with. It's a little bit hard to get your fingers into these pans because the pans are very thin, so you want to be careful that you're not like cutting yourself on the sides because they're kind of sharp. So not like the best palettes for finger lovers. Wow, that came out wrong. Ignore that, but think you know what I'm trying to say. But overall, I've just had a great time with all of these. I think they are stunning palettes, a stunning collection, and this is probably one of the releases so far this year that has impressed me the most, I think. Not only just because I was very surprised by the release in general, but also just because of how good these are. So if you think that you are going to like these palettes, you're gonna love them. Honestly, I think these are great and I'm so happy I have them in my collection. Let me know if you plan on picking any of these up. You can get a discount, I think, if you buy the bundle of 5, otherwise they're going to be $20 each, if I remember correctly. But like I said, if you buy all 4, you can get them for $75. So not like a huge discount or anything like that. And you can also use codes on top of that. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know which look was your favorite. I think this is my favorite look, but honestly, I really liked all of them because these palettes are just great. So it was tough for me to do a look that I wasn't going to love, but I had a really good time with these and I'm so excited to have them because I know I'm going to be reaching for these again. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to see some more Ace Beaute content, I will put my playlist up on the screen. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you in my next one.